Hey guys, so I'm putting the carbs back on the motor. I have replaced the fuel lines. There's 4 different sizes of the ones. There's the little ones that go up in here and shoot fuel right into the carb. When you push in the key, it goes to the top and it goes to the bottom carb. And then there's one line I'm not changing, but it was in good condition. Just goes to the bottom of the bowl. And so I'm just tightening up the nuts right now, and I haven't got a new fuel filter yet, but it goes over here. I'm going to change the fuel line that goes from this one to it's this one. And yeah, it was these little ones had a pinhole, so I just wanted to change it, which it is a very difficult fuel line to get. I went to the first boat place. Well, first I went to Lordco and they said they didn't have anything that small. And then I went to another boat place and they said they didn't have anything. And then I went to another Yamaha dealership and the mechanic there was really good, and he had like a whole bunch of little pieces of, I don't think they're used to dealing with carburetors anymore, so they don't have a lot of the smaller fuel line like that. But he had some just in his toolbox, and he just gave it to me for free of the smaller stuff. And yeah, I've taken the starter off to get at it easier, and I'll clean it up eventually, but right now I just want to get them back together, and I'll bring you back when I have more done. Talk to you later. Okay, so I have them both on, tightened up. This is the fuel pump, and I haven't put a kit into this or anything, so it may need to be worked on still, but I think it's okay. I didn't change this fuel hose, but I can if I need to. This is a new one. Let's go to the other side. Alright, so there's that fuel line. Now that comes and goes up to the top carb, and then also goes down to the bottom carb, and that's for your cold starts when you push the key in. I changed the fuel line and installed the line that goes on the bottom of the carb. I'll go to the other side and show you where this goes. It comes, okay, it's right in here, and it goes down. Let's see, you can kind of see them in there. There's 2 that go into here, right? And then it comes from here, and that's where your fuel comes into, and comes over into the fuel pump. So then obviously the oil reservoir goes here, but you have to take that off even if you're just adjusting the air fuel mixture screws, and those are 1 1/4 out. Another thing is you got to make sure that this is set, so like there's a bit of leeway with this when you screw it in. Like you can twist this and then tighten it. Well, you want this so it's perfectly, both butterflies come open exactly at the same time when you do that. And I have mine set at the perfectly. Yeah, we're getting there. So really it's back together, and I'm just gonna this line is for the oil, and it goes down into right in there, and I believe so that oil goes in there, and also the fuel goes in there. And so I believe it, when it takes the fuel, it sucks it from here as well. It must be pumping up. That must be a little oil pump or something. I don't understand how that works, but I know that that's where the oil comes into and the fuel goes in, because it's a 2-stroke, right? So it needs oil. And then, well, I'll double check everything and then we can put the starter on. I'll talk to you in a bit. As you see, I got the water going and I have it all back together. Starter's on, oil tank's on. It's all back together. I already primed it. So, oh, keys in my pocket. We'll give it a go. Now, most boaters put the throttle just a little bit in neutral, but it should just start with pushing the key in neutral. Let's go give it a try. Okay, so it does need a little bit, but that's a good sign. Well, sorry about this. Okay, just a little throttle. Just watching to make sure that water starts coming out. messing with that idle adjustment because it was running so bad. I could probably tittle that down a little. It's running good. It has way more revs. We'll go get a screwdriver and see. Well, I'll see if I can do it right now. I got the idle a lot better now. It's running just under 1,000. I think that's 800. Seems happy. Just keeps on idling. So, I'm pretty happy. I let it run there for a while and no hiccups. I brought the, before, you have to adjust this rod by taking this cam off, and then you take that out and you can thread it either way. And if it's too tight, it's hard to actually physically move that. So you want it, but if it's not tight enough, it doesn't push the whole thing back to, you know, it goes back, but it doesn't push it all the way home, so it doesn't idle, right? So you have to get that sweet spot and then adjust this so it's loose, but then you can tighten it, and then it just snugs it right up and it gives you that perfect idle. When I back this screw right out and take this off, I can push it as far as, like, those butterflies would be completely closed, and this thing was still just, it was just like very low RPMs, and it didn't die at all. So that's, before it would have just died, even when it was at, like, it was dying all over the time, all over the place. So it doesn't look like there's any leaks or anything. It's probably, I think, wet from before. Let's just see how it restarts one more time. Sometimes, I mean, it's a boat, you have to give it a little throttle. So that's what we'll do. Well, let's just try it first. See, it just, that's pretty good. And if you, you'd always give it a little throttle. And then, so how you normally start it is you push it into neutral, and you just give it a little bit, and that just cracks the butterflies. It starts way better that way. Then you bring it into neutral, and it seems just to idle all day long like that. So that wasn't the main problem. The main problem is it didn't like to run full throttle, and so that'll be a whole nother test. But from what I can tell, it seems a lot more responsive, and like it wants to go fast. Like if you give it a little throttle, it just goes wah, 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 wah. which is that's what 2-strokes do, right? So I'm happy with that, and we'll have to do a test in the water, and I'll probably fire it back up and leave it, and just actually what I'm gonna do is get some stabilizer, put it in that fuel and run it, just so that fuel and those carbs are, because you never, even when you run it dry, I don't think it ever takes all that fuel in those bowls. So it's a good idea, I think, for my research, to get some fuel stabilizer, and that way the fuel that stays in there, it's almost a better idea than running it dry. It keeps that fuel from going bad, and that's what plugs these carbs up. So I'm gonna do that, and have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.